Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Discovery Soundbites. My name is Marie Beam. I am CEO of Discovery Museum in Acton, Massachusetts, where we invite children and their families to explore science and nature through play, indoors and out. I am very pleased to be here today with JD Chesloff, President and CEO of the Massachusetts Business Roundtable. JD is also a former board member of Discovery Museum and a great friend to our museum. JD, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Marie. Thanks for having me. It's very nice to see you.
Likewise, thanks very much. So, as you know, we have just a couple questions to ask you, and I will launch right in. Our first question, JD, from your perspective, what is the biggest opportunity now to improve the lives of kids and families?
Yeah, thanks, Marie. I think the biggest opportunity is technology, right? If I'm being honest, the biggest opportunity, it is a game changer for children and families. Having said that, I think technology requires balance. And, you know, Technology, when you think about technology, you think about the user experience. It's very screen-based.
Mm,
And that needs to be balanced with other activities that we know are important to children and their families. A lot of it happens at the museum. And you could have said in the introduction, we are a longtime customer of the museum. I brought my
yes.
girls there for many years. And I think that balance is really important as we think about incorporating technology into children's lives. They also need to be doing other things that you described at the beginning, getting out, going to the treehouse. And
Hmm.
I think that's really important, not only for physical health, but for mental health and to
Mm.
balance with physical and mental health as well. So that would be one. I would say that's probably the biggest opportunity. The other thing I would add, though, is, and I talk to my kids about this a lot. I think it's important in these times to just talk about kindness
Mm.
and encourage kindness in our children. And we talk about that a lot in our family. And so I think this sort of the opportunity is around technology and also around just being a good person. There's
Yeah,
nothing that's an important priority now too.
yeah. Maintaining the human element.
Totally.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, JD, on that, what can we do at home or in our communities?
Um, get out of the home and get into the community. I think
Mm,
that's key, right? And so if you think about encouraging volunteer opportunities, being outside, figuring out, answering that question that you ask yourself, what can I do? How can I be a contributor? Where can I lean in? I
mm,
think that's really important right now. It starts at home,
yeah.
but it really involves getting out and being out in the community and being a contributing part of the community.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's really important.
That's great. JD, so in your work or personally, what is one bright spot that you are seeing?
Um, I would say in my kids and in their generation, it is they're very action oriented. They
Mm,
want to do, right? I
mm,
remember I remember talking to my older daughter about just what's going on in the world. And she said a lot of people ask her how she's feeling, but no one asks her what she can do. And she wants
mm,
to be part of answering that question. And I do think it's a bright spot. I'm optimistic about children's interest and ability in being engaged and making a
mm.
difference. And to me, that is a significant bright spot.
That really bodes well. Thank you for that. Um, JD, we have a couple minutes left, so if I may bring out our
Sure.
bonus question for you. You know
Sure.
our museum well, and you know that everything we do is grounded in play and learning through play. So, how do you like to play?
Oh boy. That's a very good question. I would say there are three things that pop into mind. The way that I like to play the most is outdoors. I grew up
Uh,
in the middle of the country at the end of a dirt road out in the Berkshires. And so that's very innate to me. Currently, the way that I like to play is to go out on a pond or a lake with a kayak and
mm,
just disappear for a while. That's
yeah.
probably my favorite thing to do. And bicycling. Those two things kind of being out are very important to me. I will say that my favorite thing is to go to a Red Sox game with my children and just sit there and enjoy and watch other people play
That's
again.
right.
But that I would say those are two of my favorite things to do in terms
Oh,
of
that's
play.
fantastic.
And by the way, um, the I will just add, playing at the museum over the years with my girls, whether it be, in the water room or with sand or whatever it was, just really remarkable memories. And for children who did not grow up like I did, they grew up in a suburban setting
Mm,
outside of Boston. That was always really important to me, right? Where
mhm.
I grew up, it was natural to just walk out the door and there was your playground, right? We were
Yeah.
kind of in the middle of the woods. Having a place like the museum to take my girls when they were kids was transformative, and um, I just really appreciated those experiences. So thank you.
Oh, that's so lovely, JD. Thank you so much. And to your family, JD Chesloff, thank you again for joining us today for Discovery Soundbites. I'd also thank everyone for listening. And final thanks to our generous sponsors for making Discovery Soundbites possible. If you'd like to know more about Discovery Museum or our work, you can find us at discoveryacton.org. Come play with us.